Okay, well, one of the things we've been accused of by Wingling, that's the code name so many times, is that we're liars and that we keep making stuff up, despite the fact that it's constantly backed up with proof. But we've now come to a time where no matter what he says or does, it's hard to believe it, whether it's stuff like, I bought a new house, a family member passed away, I'm fucking going on holiday to Mars. It's hard. It's instantly something you don't believe. And we're about to play footage of a perfect example of why he isn't believed on anything. I've heard of people maybe exaggerate or tell a lie during a rant to get themselves over their man. But this is fascinating. This is one continuous lie after another, back to back, and he genuinely believes it. And as a little behind the scenes trivia point, look at how much he rubs his nose.
So we're going to go back to August of 2019.
Golden age.
Yeah. I was still on the brand at this point.
Yeah.
The Mike Durband show was still on the brand at this point.
I knew what was coming. I knew it was
Yeah. And I think John had asked me previously if I could run a commercial for Reality Check on my show. And I was like, I don't know if Mark from Realm and Jeff would appreciate that. So I politely told him no, and he said he understood. And then I felt bad about it. So then a few months later, I heard John was planning this big move away from Creative Control Network, and he's going to start his own. So I was like, all right, I'll have him on. I'll have him on as a guest, and then, that shouldn't be a problem. So I asked him. I think he was on vacation in one of his many homes, his condo in Florida. And he politely gave me the time. He graciously gave me the time. I think he was in the gym, and he had just gotten off the trip.
Yeah, Jim who? Jim Carrey?
Some dude named Jim. That's true.
The J.I.M. Yeah, if Joe Orley was talking about pink, then this story's about brown. Yeah, and just to, before we get into this video, Wingling had said before that this was to promote his realest guys in the room. Of course, that's what of all the things I would call a show, like the only thing worse that I can think is a world's top 5 pedophiles. But this one, what Wingling had said that he was going to do mainstream media appearances to promote this Dan Severn show. Yeah. And I know of 2, and these mainstream appearances were, one was the Hambone show, and the other one is the Mike Durband show, who, no offense to either of them, but I don't think they keep Joe Rogan up at night shitting himself.
Probably not. No.
So this is an enjoyable one, and this is when I first realized that he was one cocksucker short of a picnic.
Oh. Yeah, the podcast wars were kind of lighthearted at this point still. There was jabs going back and forth, but most of it was pretty, lighthearted stuff.
Yeah, so. The real heat and fighting was me and Radigan at the time. We're the only ones that were really like, hey, fuck you, man. Yeah. And the rest of it was kind of a joke, but.
So I did the interview with John, and then I put it into my next episode, which might have been episode 27 or 28 at that time. And then I got the message from Jeff Lane. He said, no, we're not allowing this guy on our network. Can't
imagine why.
Yeah,
he's a cunt.
He's a cunt.
He's a shit-talking fucking
Well, here's the thing,
Mark.
Real quick. One of the episodes that we did where I played the clip of him talking shit about Russo and Lane, that was before his interview with you. So after saying those things about Jeff and Vince, why the fuck would he expect anything of his to be played on their, brand and network and whatever? So that's lunacy right there.
Yeah, but sadly, so many of those burial clips are gone forever, never to be found. So we can never use them.
Never, ever.
Yeah. Jeff Lane censored the segment from my show. So I just put the video of it on YouTube that week. So people still got to see the great interview, and they got to hear about all the great grandiose plans that John had planned for the brand new Reality Check podcast.
How did you miss the opportunity to say monumental?
Monumental.
Huge and monumental.
See, that's one thing that I question now. I'm like, is it a better show if we're listening to angry Wangland, or is it a better show if we listen to like hopeful Wangland before everything crashed and burned very quickly? I think they're both equally entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, this starts out so good.
Perfect. Even the way it's paused. Look at his fucking ugly face. What do you think he feels when he looks at someone like Chris Evans? You know, Captain America.
That's a handsome fella.
Like, who would you rather be? Either or, John Wangland or Captain America, because clearly he thinks they're the same thing. Captain America. Captain Americunt.
Right now, I'm going to welcome back to the show. He hasn't been on in a while, but man, everybody knows this guy, the great Mr. John Wangland from the Reality Check Podcast Network. John, what's going on, man?
Man, thanks for having me on, Mike. I appreciate you hitting me up and asking me to come on, buddy. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Great friend, great guy. Love the show always. Mike Durband is the man. So thank you for having me on, buddy.
Hey there, man. I just want to say you're a great guy and I want to tweak your nips first chance I get. Honk, honk, brother.
Oh, boy, how did he change his tune on that?
Oh.
Yeah, first of all, I love the fact that Johnny Podcasting has Johnny mobile phone from the 90s. Look at how shit this picture is. Oh and how come he's not Johnny Lighting? Look at how fucking bad the lighting is, too.
I guess the lighting and the internet strength in the condo aren't very strong.
You know, I'm guessing all the money was going on other stuff there, you know, pizzles and whatever.
You mean action figures?
Yeah, of course, figs.
No. He wasn't into figs at this point.
Oh, he wasn't a figget?
As Rob said on the last Get My Go episode, John spent roughly $10,000 on action figures in a 3-month period just to be able to be cool with Richie and to do the show with him. $10,000. No problem. I will have you on because I know that you have some huge news coming up.
We're doing a great new show. It's called The Realest Guys in the Room. And what it's going to be focused on, I'm going to be the co-host of the show, and it's going to have Dan the Beast Sever. And
wait, pause. Hold on. He must have already had the Reality Check Network then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting my timelines waved through.
So at the beginning of the Reality Check, it was just like him, Turtles, his dad, whatever. But around this time, he was going to announce this and Vampiro. So this was his big push, right? It had been around for a few months, but it was like a little quiet. Now here's the big news and the big moves.
You know what? Then I think the first time I had him on my show, he broke the news about splitting off from you.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We got to go back and do that one. Okay, I'm confused. Okay.
Unfortunately, though, I don't think he ever announced publicly that he was talking to Jake the Snake Roberts or J.J. Dillon or any of the names that he told some of us at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think that, Mike, you need to put up a lie counter in the side of the screen here because this is fucking no, we'll call it the monumental lie counter.
Huge and monumental.
Okay.
And every time he lies, you put up a ding and he just goes monumental.
it's going to have Don the Predator Fry, 2 MMA legends, wrestling legends.
Don the Predator Fry was on the show. Was it one time?
Never.
He was never on it.
Oh, he was never on. Okay.
Never.
And Don Fry's a wrestling legend?
Dude, I think if any of us was at a convention or something and we saw Don Fry, like Fight Week in Vegas, whatever, and we asked him about the show, he would have no fucking idea what we were talking about. I don't think he ever knew.
Yeah. But that's why when I seen when Realist Guys was announced, I knew it was never going to fucking happen. Because how the fuck do you get 2 MMA guys who had a rivalry to then agree to do a show with a fucking nobody?
It's like I think Rob or someone said yesterday that John, he's a good salesman, but unfortunately, you got to back up the talk, and that's where he runs into problems. He makes monumental promises. The delivery is lacking.
He's actually the longest tenured NWA champion in the history of the NWA. He had it for over 4 years.
Right. What the fuck does that matter? Wrestling isn't real. It's not real.
Right?
Yeah. He's also in the contender for the King of the Ring there, man. He won a tag team match there, man, and he took on a Jim Cornette tag team all by himself there, man.
He almost beat The Rock.
Yeah. Plus, he used to work with the Zombie and a guy who was burnt alive as a kid and came back due to being so evil there, man.
both UFC Hall of Famers and just about every wrestling Hall of Fame out there. And if you've never heard Don Fry talk, he's one of the most colorful guys.
No, I've never heard him talk ever.
Yeah, he certainly didn't
Neither
talk
have
on
you,
your
John.
podcast.
Furthermore, Don Fry is super right wing, so I don't know how those guys.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked with John.
In the world that's out there, man. He's an interesting character. And Dan is just a great guy, too. And there's so much more to people. They kind of equate Dan sometimes to his WWE run. And Dan is one of the most engaging and entertaining guys that you've ever seen in your life. And he's a legit badass, too.
That's great insight that a trained UFC fighter is a legit badass.
Champion.
This guy has sold me on the show.
He's won 100+ MMA fights, but thanks for the insight. Yeah.
I wonder if you ever asked him about his MMA career.
I don't know. I wonder if we can find that.
But the show's going to be about not just MMA. It's not just going to be about wrestling. We're going to have so many different types of things we're going to do. We're going to focus a lot on their careers and different points and topics. We're going to do interviews. We have an agreement with the UFC and Bellator where they're going to give us talent, things like that for the shows.
We have an agreement with the UFC and Bellator. What? John Wanglin called up, what's his name, Dana White. He goes, hey there, man. So I'm thinking we could get Conor McGregor on, and I don't know anyone from Bellator, to be honest with you.
Jesus, Tito Ortiz was there, right? Or
yeah, it's like,
whatever.
hey, I know you're a rival company there, man, but hey, why don't you do it? And Mick Jagger's going to write a song for us there, man. And
write the theme song. Here's what my guess would be. If there was even any long-term plans, Severn may have mentioned to him, it would be cool for the podcast if I could get some MMA fighters on. That's probably it. And then John went, ooh, we're going to have all the UFC stars because, that's the problem. Once we started hearing these exaggerations at this time, that's when this fucking shit all started.
Unless, is he saying out loud the pitch that he said to Severn and Fry?
Maybe.
And that, hey there, boys, I've got an agreement and we're going to have on people from Bellator and the UFC there, man. And realistically, when you think about it,
friend Dan Severn right there. Oh.
And realistically, when you think about it, how many guests did they have on Realist Guys?
0.
They couldn't even get both of the fucking hosts on it.
Yeah.
How many episodes did it go? Was it 8 or 9?
No, dude, that one was like 2.
No. Realist Guys was
Vampiro went a few, but Realist Guys was like, no, remember it went 2, and then he started using a Severn interview from another podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He used it for a couple shows. Yeah. He took an entire episode from another podcast, someone else's interview with Dan Severn, and put it on his feed twice. You're right.
Crazy.
Wow.
Old talent that's going to be out there. We're going to have wrestling talent that's going to be on the show. We're going to have non-wrestling performers and entertainment. It's going to be on Patreon as well.
There he goes with the Patreon again. It's like he's starting off right away with the Patreon.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. And I've said that before. You have to earn the audience first and earn their trust and getting in their routine. Hey, I'm going to listen to Realist Guys every week. And it's going to take a slot of someone that they already listened to. It's really hard now, especially to break in. 5 years ago, it might have been easier. Immediately, you think people have money to just spend on a show that hasn't even debuted yet?
But do you get the feeling that he's lying this whole time? Did they actually have plans to do this? Or is he just doing his thing where he starts talking and rambling?
I said to someone recently whether he believed this, you know what I mean, or if it was bullshit, if it was real, if it was a lie in his head, or even if it was a lie, it was the truth in his head. You know what I mean? He doesn't know he's lying. And someone said to me recently that once they heard the first episode of Realist Guys, they knew it was over.
Yeah. But the thing is, as well, is that he's saying all this stuff here about we're going to have people from entertainment and outside of it. It's like, so it's a UFC, it's an MMA-based podcast that's also now not about the MMA, because fucking Axl Rose is going to come on to talk to Dan Severn about the real story behind Spaghetti Incident.
Doesn't Ariel Helwani do a show like that where sometimes it's MMA fighters, but then it's also, or like the UFC show with Jimmy Norton and the other guy? I think that's the kind of model he's talking about here. Without any of the connections or stroke.
Yeah, Joe Rogan interviews the UFC. The UFC has their own podcast. They're not going to let some fat cunt fucking interview people. There, man.
The Patreon should be launching on September 1st. The first show will launch on August 29th. And we have
So we have three.
The
you have
Patreon.
three-
The Patreon starts 3 days after the fucking first episode.
Well, at least the Vampiro one launched and had a few subscribers. The Realist guys, that never even got off the ground. If it existed, no one knows about it.
Some major guests and some major people that are going to be joining us on the show. Huge names. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the first episode is going to be a blast. We're just shoring up the topic right now because I am going out this week to go to an MMA show with Dan. And then on August 23rd and August 24th, I'll be at Big Time Wrestling as Dan's manager.
None of this happened. They didn't have one guest on. They didn't do any wrestling shows together. He didn't manage it. Hey there, man, I'm going to manage him at a show there, man. And the thing is as well, how the fuck do you, what did he say? Sure enough, the topic?
Shoring up.
Yeah.
How long does it take to come up with a topic? Hey, do you want to talk about this? Yes, all right.
Done.
But it takes him that long to fucking speak because he's like, hey there, man.
That's
Can I watch you in the dressing room there, man?
That's a tough one because even though I can imagine some of these other things maybe being talked about, I can't imagine for a second Dan going, yeah, I'm going to fly you to these, and you're going to, you know what, why don't you walk me to the ring? That'd be a gas. That's not how things work at all.
Yeah, see, this is what I find very strange, is that does he believe this? Or is he just fucking rambling and lying on? And is he now going to deny this? Because everything he said has turned out to either not happen or possibly was a lie the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know because Mike and him recorded this in August, and he's talking about wrestling appearances like a week or two later. So immediately he's going to be exposed because none of that happens. You know what I mean? Immediately. So
Big Time Wrestling as Dan's manager.
Wow.
Yes. Yep.
Oh.
So, yes, sir. So I'll be out managing Dan at the show at Big Time Wrestling.
Well, here's the other thing. How the fuck can you manage someone at a show when it's a work? It's not real. So what the fuck was he going to do?
yeah,
The here he comes there, man. He's recording a podcast on the way to the strip on the fucking ring there, man. He's interviewing the fucking marks.
Severn's not a heel on these shows either. He just comes out, he does like some chain wrestling, and he stretches the guy in like 7-8 minutes. He's older, So there's no reason for a Weasley manager or someone to be outside the ring. Like, it just didn't ring true with me at all. Like, there would be no point, and everyone in the crowd would be going, "Who?"
And the thing is, when Durband says, "Wow," that means you're full of shit.
Ding!
I was thinking that. I remember I'm like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Like, that can't be true.
It gets better.
Rhode Island on the 23rd of August. Dan's in one of the big matches. They have Bret Hart on this card. They have Demolition. Jack Swagger's going to be there. MJF will be there. I mean, there's a lot of big names on this card for Big Time Wrestling. And then the next night in Enfield, Connecticut. And actually, Rad Rob's going to be joining me on that trip, too. So he's
Rad Rob is coming up north?
Yeah, he's coming up north, and he's going to do the show with me. And we are actually going to be doing another show in September. Dan has a promotion for Danger Zone Mixed Martial Arts, and we will be live internet pay-per-view streaming it. I am finalizing the media agreement next week. That's an exclusive for Mr. Durband. We will also be streaming and doing events starting in September for Danger Zone Mixed Martial Arts. And in November, we are looking to run our first and promote our first show, which I will be the promoter of the show with Mr. Severn.
What the fuck? Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go back through that.
Yeah, but before you do that, let me just make this clear because I did interview Dan and I know him a little bit, and we hung at it. This is when someone tells a real story. This isn't me making this up. We hung at a convention. I almost got him a booking doing a seminar for the day, whatever. But I know for a fact that this Danger Zone MMA, Dan runs those shows, and they have internet streaming, but that was long before this, and I'm sure they get 20 buys. No one knows about that. I'm not insulting Severn, but it's just smaller time MMA. So whatever John's saying here, I knew again was horseshit because that shit already existed. Dan was already doing that on his own. What does he need John for? But
right, can you go back through that part so we can go through it claim by claim?
It's pretty good.
For Danger Zone Mixed Martial Arts, and at the show at Big Time Wrestling in Pawtucket, Rhode Island on the 23rd of August. Dan.
Here's the first one. That's the name they come up for their company, Big Time Wrestling, and John Wanklin's going to fucking manage it? Like, well, what was the other options for that company name?
I like the fact that it's Bret Hart, MJF, Jack Swagger, Demolition, John Wangland.
Yeah.
In one of the big matches, they have Bret Hart on this card. They have Demolition. Jack Swagger's going to be there. MJF will be there. I mean, there's a lot of big names on this card for big time wrestling. And then the next night in Enfield, Connecticut. And actually, Rad Rob's going to be joining me on that trip too. So he's
Rad Rob is coming up north.
Yeah, he's coming up north, and he's going to do the show with me. And we are actually going to be doing another show in September. Dan has a promotion for Danger Zone Mixed Martial Arts, and we will be live internet pay-per-view streaming it. I am finalizing the media agreement next week.
What the fuck? Finalizing the media agreement? As if like NBC and CNN and Fox are all trying to fucking get John Wangland to in a meeting and say, "Hey Fox, these are my terms and conditions there, man, and I don't negotiate there, man. This is big time. We don't need you."
Finalizing the media agreement in 2019 when all you have to do is live stream to YouTube or Twitch. You don't need a media agreement, dude. And again, everyone knows that shit.
By the way, I'd like to announce that I'm finalizing my media agreement with Sony. Is that as long as I pay £37 a month, I get to have a phone.
Yeah, by the way, I own my own radio station.
Yeah, and also I finalized an agreement last night with Disney where I bought one of their films and I got to watch it.
Nice.
Thank you.
We will also be streaming and doing events starting in September for Danger Zone Mixed Martial Arts. And in November, we are looking to run our first and promote our first show, which I will be the promoter of the show with Mr. Severn.
This guy's never done fucking MMA in his life, and he thinks he's going to run a show. And by the way, is he going to deny saying this?
How is he going to, like, are you telling me that he's going to book a venue, have money to pay the fighters, like there's a lot to do. There's a lot to go with promoting a show. You don't just, it's not like your little, promotion games on your computer where you just make up a card and run it. Like, you have to have insurance. You have to have all this shit. So once again, I knew hearing this, that this was bullshit and it was never going to happen.
Big news, John.
That just came out. That just came out last night.
Well, it came out last night in his fucking dream.
Came out in his head.
Yeah. I wonder who else is going to be coming out.
He's in great shape. He's in the gym 6 to 7 days a week, Mike.
Does he still have that mustache?
Oh, yeah. He's got the mustache to do him, buddy.
Any chance? Now, I cut there because I almost wish I didn't. I wish I would have still had the raw footage from it. But I remember I cut it because it sounded so preposterous, the shit that he was saying. And it's too bad that we can't listen back now. But it was so unrealistic, I had to cut it.
What did he say?
I don't even remember, but I just remember that was the reason. It was just so fucking far-fetched that I was like, I can't put this out. Any chance that you're going to be on the road either to Philly or to Ireland anytime soon to take part in some hashtag podcast wars?
Yeah, man. Because this beef is legit, Mr. Durband. I'm telling you.
I see it.
Those suckers over at the Creative Control Network, man. I'm telling you. This one in Ireland, especially that fucking saucy. Yeah, what's his name? Squeezy, saucy.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell he is there, man. That kid. He's always got to run his gums, man. And he thinks he's funny too. And here I am. I have graced him with my presence on the It's Squeezy Goodbye show multiple times. I do a damn segment with him every week, going over these long watch-alongs that we do. And this is how he repays me, Mr. Durband. I mean, come on. I've been good to this man, and here he calls me out because one night I did a long rant, and he said I didn't drink enough damn water and I don't hydrate enough.
Yeah, and he insulted your karaoke ability on the Bon Jovi song.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. Did you hear that great rendition, Mr.
Yeah, it was a patriotic day. It was the 4th of July. You had a few beers. You had a great audience.
Did you know that was the party where it was revealed that his dad is number 13 in Brazil?
I think you say it to him here, and then you talked about how he's number 13. But
and by the way, just before we play it, fucking Wangland says on his podcast, this is though they say horrible things about my family there, man. What's anyone said about anyone in his family? He's made that part up, just like he's making up all these claims about Severn. Nobody's insulted his family at all.
Nope.
So he's offended by something that didn't happen, and that's typical of someone who's been caught out. That they won't acknowledge the actual accusations. They just make stuff up to claim offense over.
Well, one thing that I had outed him for a while ago was that he used that iTunes screen name Best or whatever to leave phony reviews. So he would leave positive reviews for his shows, and then he would bury you. And I can't remember where else. He buried John Hughezy and shit like that. But what I noticed was, because I was looking at a review yesterday to talk about on the other show, what I noticed was he left his 1-star Hughezy review in July of 2019. This is August when we were all still pretty friendly. So even a month before anything started, he was already doing sneaky shit like that. Just for the record.
You had a few beers. You had a great audience. You know, your dad was there.
Yep, everybody.
I love how you shouted out that your dad was like number 3 in Ecuador.
I think at the time he was like in Brazil.
Yeah.
He was like number 21 in Brazil. And then that other rascal, what's his
He can't even remember the fucking clicks that he bought. He's so fucked up on goofballs that he's like, hey, now he's number 31 in northern Norway there, man. Stand the man, number 13 in Brazil.
Yeah.
He was like number 21 in Brazil. And then that other rascal, what's his name?
That other rascal there, man.
Joe Fizzle. This guy, you know, he wants to troll on my stuff. I've done nothing but be nice. I love the creative control. Hambone's my good buddy, man. He's a great guy. I love him. I love Road Warrior Animal. I think he's an awesome guy, man. Hurricane Helms. You know, these guys are starting wars. They're calling my guys out. They're doing name calling. And I'll say this to them, Mr. Durband. I know you asked on your show, would we do a show against them? I would be glad to do a show against them and discuss this with them like gentlemen. Because let me tell you, you're going to see who the real C players are, and that's those douchebags over on the Creative Control, because they're a C grade group of guys, man. I used to listen to Creative Control, and then Joe just had to go off and start saying his stuff, so I had to tune it off my iTunes and unsubscribe there to it, you know.
You have way more guys on your side. Give me your rundown from the top on down. You got.
Oh my God! I mean, let's see. I got Bang and Dang out there. Those two crazy fuckers from Michigan. You know, they're all Republicaned out and nutty, man. So
gone.
Come out there and start having AK-47s and shit.
Yeah, and Bang Biscuits. He's got a lot of wood carving tools. So I mean, watch out, Hughezy. Watch out, Hughezy.
And those Republicans, man, they don't like Irish people very much. You know, I've been trying to talk to them about, you know, Irish shaming, you know, but they do it, man. You know, they don't just fat shame, or they don't just adopt shame, and they're not just do homophobe shaming. You know, these guys are Irish shamers too. You know, Matt Kuhn had to block them for a reason. So it is what it is on that, you know. And then I got to top it off here, man. I got Rad Rob.
Gone.
I got Jeff Run with Turtles.
Jeff. Creative Control Network member with Effin' For Real, of course. Tremendous show.
Former MMA fighter Blake Shake and Bake Siegler.
Gone. Creative Control Network talent.
I got the geriatric jackhammer Stan Wangland out there.
He's gone too.
Got the spooky man, the crazy spiritual advisor Paul James Caden, who cast a witch spell on them.
Gone. Who knows? Did that guy even exist? Is that made up?
I get the feeling that he cast a spell on Wangland's credibility.
And make them into nothing. But then I got my real enforcers out there. I got Fat Coon.
Gone.
Creative
Control Network ally.
Guy Dean Galloway. And he would like to, I think, join us as well, because I think he has some comments he'd like to make. He has a big problem with Saucy. I feel bad, man, because I'm going to like put him out in the street, you know, and I don't want Feeney on public assistance or anything, you know. I don't, dude. I like Joe Fizz. And you know what? I really do have the ace in the hole, though. And my ace in the hole is making his return in September. And it is the one and only David Radigan. And David Radigan, man, they don't want to make him mad.
Gone.
Never happened. Now, I don't know. You know, I think we could possibly get Dave on. I don't know. I don't think he has any heat with John, but he seems to be enjoying these shows where he always comments something on it like an emoticon. So I don't know if Dave never came back just because, frankly, we were fucking with him, or because he had a bad taste in his mouth from me, or whatever it was. He just didn't feel like doing it. His job took up his time, but he never came back. So.
And Radigan didn't even begin with Wangland.
Nope.
No, he never did one show. No.
Florida's finest. Yeah, he's been in jail. He's done time. He's a construction worker, so he's got to be ripped, and he's very strong.
He owns Fit Food Florida. The guy
Yeah.
is jacked to the gore, man.
Jack to the gore.
I need a hero there, man. He's got to be fit and he's got to be strong, and I need him to be ready for the fight there, man. Like, all right, Wangland, don't flog your dolphin too hard on camera. You might, your pupils might dilate even more.
I want to piss David Radigan
No.
off. He's gonna get in the Mercury Grand Marquis, and he might come up there. You heard that promo.
I don't know if he's allowed to cross state lines, but he may. If he's angry enough, he will.
We'll get it approved by. I'm very good with negotiating. I can get it approved by his.
No, you're not good at negotiating.
Horrifying.
Well, I mean, he is negotiating a media deal for that Danger Zone thing, which didn't happen.
Yeah, lying is not a strong negotiating tool. I mean, it is in some cases, but certainly not in this.
Yeah, there, man. I'm currently negotiating with the WWE for an exclusive interview with Owen Hart.
Did he ever try to steal you, Hughezy? Did he ever try to get you to go to Reality Check?
No, but I remember once trying to set him up where I told him that me and Disco were going to do a spin-off show.
Oh, yeah.
And that I was trying to get him to make an offer, but he didn't say anything. Maybe he thought that wouldn't have been a good idea. Maybe he was on to me straight away, but
Yeah. Because I think he tried to steal Hambone early on. I can't remember if that's confirmed or not.
Really?
Yeah, we'd have to ask the Bone.
Roll officer, I think,
That's right. That's
it could
right.
happen, man. So, they want to take this to the next level, Mr. Durband. It might not work out well for these guys.
I'm just happy to be right in the middle. I don't want to pick a side. I love everybody. I'm
love
friends
you.
with everybody. I'm Switzerland in this whole thing.
And you've done a great job at being Switzerland in this.
Yes.
But you can relay a message to Saucy, Squeezy, whatever his name is there for me. Can you relay this message for him?
I will.
Tell him that this thirsty bitch is going to quench his thirst by squeezing the life out of his pea-brained head, man, and the little bit of common sense that's left in there. Sonny Jim, you're not in my league any day, Squeezy, okay? Ireland isn't a pimple on my ass because my red, white, and blue ass is going to sit over there and destroy you. You want a war? You got a podcast war, bitch. You're going to be the thirsty bitch quenching for thirst right after this.
I'm just picturing him practicing that in the mirror or like writing it down like, ooh, I'm going to get this motherfucker and like writing a promo out, Yeah. Jesus. By the way, there was
You
two
want a
stolen.
war?
That was stolen. And then You're Not a Pimple on My Ass is Roddy Piper. That was stolen.
And you know what? You're not going to get an opportunity to because you're going to be breathing through a fucking tube when I'm done with you, Saucy.
Wow. Where can we find you on Twitter, John?
Hey, guys, check us out at WWR Podcast on Twitter. You can check out the Reality Check Podcast Network as well at our Podcast Network on Twitter. You can go to our Instagram, please, if you'd like. And that is Reality Check Podcast Network on Instagram. And then you can also go over, you can email me if you ever want to talk, chat, whatever, wwrpodcast.com@gmail.com, and on Twitch. We just started doing Twitch. And I'm trying to do 3 to 4 times a week on there, Mike, and get out there, growing the platform. It's a long process to grow it. It's just Wrestling with Reality on Twitch or www.
Yeah, Twitch, of course, was when he would answer questions when we could visibly see that there was literal 0 viewers. So we go, here's a great question. Where can I hear your podcast? Well, that's a great question. You can get it all good platforms there, man. Like, nobody asked. Nobody wants to know. Nobody cares. What you have to say doesn't matter. It's an unimportant opinion. Accept that and move on. And please, for the love of fuck, hit the gym.
Twitch TV/Wrestling with Reality.
All right, John, I wish you all the luck in the world. You don't need it with Squeezy, though. I know you can take him easy.
Nah, that saucy bitch will be gone, dude. I don't need anything with him.
Congratulations on all the great news with the shows going forward. Everybody check out the Reality Check Podcast Network. John Wangland, thank you for coming on again.
Thanks, Mike.